I was going to go over a couple more things with After Effects. In the last demo, what we did was we kind of uh, created some circles that animated by getting bigger and smaller, and then we messed with easy ease on our keyframes. We talked a little bit how to create keyframes and just some of the basics. Some of the basics that we want to kind of go over here. We do have our work area right here. I can zoom in and out on that by using this tool at the bottom. I can choose to work on only a certain amount by sliding this thing. If it's over like that and you're not working with anything, you need to expand it. So that slider right there is important. I tend to work a little bit zoomed in, okay, and then we can use this to scroll side to side. What I'm going to do is we're going to move on to like kind of like a new animation here a little bit. I'm just going to pull these over so these all end at the same time. And the new animation, what I want to do is basically click off of all layers, so I don't want to have anything there. What I'm going to do is create a shape, though. So I'm going to go to ellipse, and I'm going to create another circle. And here it is. Okay, you can see it's way too big for my animation, so I'm going to zoom out so I can see the whole thing, and I'm just going to go over to the side here and shrink it up. Okay, I'm going to line this up by holding down Shift. As I slide over, it'll kind of stop at the right point. And I'll show you that if I zoom in. See, is there a gap there? A little gap. I would snap it to it, but there we go. Next thing I want to do, just zoom out, and that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is have this one animate to slide in. So how I do that, instead of using scale, we're going to use position. So I'm going to turn that one on, and I'm going to say, all right, at the beginning here, if you create a keyframe, go ahead and move it over. Beginning, where do I want this circle? All right, I want my circle to be off the bottom. Move this ahead. Okay, where do I want it to end? I want it to end on screen. Okay, pretty simple. All right, so when it moves now, boom, it just pops up. Now, that's okay. Okay, what I want it to do is, again, think about maybe hitting the brakes on your car. Your body's going to go forward a little bit, even, with the seatbelt on. So what I'm going to do is, starts off, ends on, but then right before that, it's going to kind of go forward. So it's going to keep going and then snap back to its place. So what I do is, this is the path that it's following. I'm just going to move that and make sure that line kind of stays tight. This line right here. And then let's take a look at it. Boom. Okay. Now, it's good. That would work. If you want it to be a little bit more of like a smooth movement, a little more realistic, I would recommend doing some easy ease on that. So, keyframe assistant, right click on the keyframes, easy ease it. Just take a look at it. Boom. All right. And then again, this one could be duplicated multiple times as needed. So, if I Command D that, I now have two. All right, maybe this second one should be a different color fill only, and I just maybe want to move it over. I could reorder the layer. I could scale it, okay, because I don't have scaling turned on, so it's a little bit different. Position though, that would be the issue. So let's see if there's maybe a way to do that. I don't know if I can shift select those. Let's see. What position we can move them all. No, it's not gonna let me. But still works pretty nice. It's good. And I just kind of had those offset a little bit. All right, and again, we could just keep duplicating that one if we wanted to as well. Oh, I guess I could just use anchor point. That's a good idea. Have that stay over there then, and then just use anchor point. Kind of nice. Didn't really think about that. Alright, slide. There's another one. I just duplicated that one apparently. And I'm going to close this up. I'm going to put that one underneath these two. Change its color as well. Make this one like a gray. Just scale her down. So again, that's kind of a nice little trick there. If you already keyframe one, you can still use your anchor point. Let's see what these look like. Boom. Alright, looking good. Alright, so I'm going to shrink these up. And the nice thing there is, I kind of just reusing the same animation. I'm not really altering it much, just kind of alter the placement of it using the anchor points. So a nice little trick there that really I hadn't even used before that. So kind of a good thing there. I think the only difference there maybe is the scale. I think at the beginning potentially is it. All right. From here, what we're going to do next is do some stuff with dot dashing. So I'm going to basically close up all my carrots here, and I'm going to go and create a new circle. Again, we're just going to keep using circles here. And it's too big, so zoom out, shrink it up, slide it over. Okay, and oops, make this one a different color. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make this thing into a dot dash line. So there's my new shape. And I'm going to go into contents, and I'm going to go into ellipse one down here, my layers. And I do want this thing to have a stroke already. So if you haven't done that, make sure you set your stroke to something. I'm going to go to stroke 1. And down at the bottom there's this thing that says dashes. I know there's a lot of layers here, but it's kind of a necessary evil here. And you're going to see dot dashes there. And what we're going to do... Sorry, I want to try something real quick. What we're going to do with the dashes is add those on. You're going to see immediately you're going to have this change. So I can mess with that number. That's going to do is make these wider. And this is keyframeable too, which is kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is put my play at the beginning here and tell it what to look like. So at the beginning, I want my dashes to be larger. And then by the time it gets to here, I want them to be smaller. But I also want them to have keyframes. So at this point, it'll look like that, and then I also want it to rotate. Okay, I'll do it 1,000. Oops. Hit enter. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Again, this is all keyframeable. So like, you have those guys pop up. I could have had them pop up and do this stuff too. So all that stuff. Even right now, if I wanted to go close down stuff and just hit S for that one, or P for position. Let's do P. I could have it started, drop down, or started up top, and then immediately drop down real quick. And I could have done that same thing that we did before, where I have it pop down and up. So I'm just saying, like, all these things are just kind of reusable. I don't like that, but all right. And so that is dot dashes. Again, how we get there is open up our contents, ellipse, and then stroke 1. And it's in the bottom, but we have to add it. Okay, we have to get there. So you can keep scrolling those down, and then you have to turn on the keyframes. One last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little stroke drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and make, again, another circle. And maybe I'll make this one on the same, not the same layer, but the same time as this one. Maybe just kind of have it, like, do a little later start or something. This one kind of start when this guy pops in. Boom. And where does he stop? Right there. Okay, I'll have him go there. And then that middle one, let's go ahead and center it. And change the color on that one. And I'll make my stroke white. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to animate this outline, the stroke. So how we do that is I click on this layer. This time a little bit more complicated. Down here in my layers, I'm going to go to Add, and I want to go to Trim Paths. Okay. And in Trim Paths, it's kind of down towards the bottom here. You have Start, End. Okay, so just mess with it first. So if I mess with Start and go to 100, see how it takes that whole thing away. All right. For End, same thing. It's going to go the other direction. Okay. I'm actually going to do something different here too. So on this one, I'm going to not even use the trim paths, okay, but I'm going to duplicate this. So this is going to be, I'm going to call this one self-draw 1. Okay, I'm going to duplicate that one, okay. So the original self-draw is just going to be fill. So I'm on that layer. I'm going to turn off my stroke and close it up. So we just have the blue on that one. On the top one, though, I just want the fill, okay. Or wait, let's make sure that that was right because I might have done it wrong. Bottom one, just the fill. Yep, top one, I just want the stroke. So I'm going to turn off my fill. All right, and I'm going to close it up. And now I think because I duplicated it already, I should have my trim paths there. So yep, there it is. If you didn't have it, you can go and add them. Okay. But on trim paths now, on the top one, I'm going to turn on my start and end. And all right, what do I want to have happen? Okay, at the beginning, maybe I want it to have no stroke, and then go a little bit later, I want it to draw itself. Okay, boom, and there's that one. Okay, that's completely acceptable. You could have it do that. You could also, right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna add a keyframe. Well, let's say at the beginning, I actually want there to be a little bit of a stroke. Okay, I want there to be that much, and then at the end, you can kind of see how it moves around there. At the end, I want there to be only that much stroke. So let's see what that looks like. Instead, it kind of has like this drawn effect, where or like a slide effect. Problem is, I want it to be, I want it to see the whole time. So I'm gonna flip this, pull this back a little bit. All right, let's see if that works. Looks pretty good. Okay, and so now we have this thing just loop through, boom, and then I believe what you could probably do is on this point, create more keyframes. What do you want to happen? And that one, that would maybe be there. This would be there. Let's see if that would work. So, boom. Oh, it's going to go back. So I don't want that to happen. Instead, what I want to have happen is, let's see. See if that does what I want. Boom. Yeah, still not. I was kind of hoping I could get it to loop up, but that didn't work. So we'll just kind of do it like that. And there might be a way to do that. I'm just not totally sure at the time what's going on there. So, all right. So that's kind of where we're going to leave off. You could also keyframe your other layer. So this is self-draw 1. We could go to this one and mess with the fill on the original layer. So if we go to trim paths, turn on start and end. We want it to be at zero. Maybe we have it totally away, and then by the time it gets to, that's the end. Maybe here we'll have it be visible. So let's see what that looks like. All right, not bad. Okay, the next demo we'll talk about some other effects that you can use.